Hi guys, so today I want to talk about the importance of self-isolation and when you should and why you should and why I think it's important. And I'll also talk about my own experiences on why I'm currently in self-isolation mode. So if you are a more sensitive person, maybe you're neurodivergent, maybe you're on the autism spectrum, maybe you have ADHD, maybe you're just naturally more hypersensitive to things, to other people's energy, reactions, maybe you're trigger prone, maybe you have trauma that have affected you to the point to where everything triggers you. And then if you also have ADHD and you have trauma, that can make you more hypersensitive to reaction, because your body, when you have ADHD, you're already prone to overstimulation. So for me, I have ADHD, but I also have CPTSD. And so I am just easily triggered, easily overstimulated, and I have to, on top of that, I'm an introvert, which means I get all my energy from myself. So if I'm around people, it takes away from my energy. And then on top of that, I'm more empathetic. That means I absorb other people's emotions. It sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. I used to I hated myself because I hated caring so much about other people, and I hated just feeling everything. I hated just absorbing other people's emotions, and I also hated when I would absorb and just feel the pains and the plagues of the world or whatever. So as a kid, I was I just wanted to help people and be there for people. Whatever I knew, I wanted to tell people what I knew because I wanted to help everyone. And so as an adult, and even as a teenager, it got to the point to where when I wanted to be out in the world, I was rejected because I so wanted to help people and be there for people and just surround myself with people, because I just thought I'm so caring and loving and everyone is going to be like that to me, but they weren't. So to make a long story short, I'll get into the whole history in another video. But the purpose of this video is why sometimes you just need to isolate yourself. And this video is for people who are very sensitive and triggered by others, and why sometimes you guys take a step back and just reflect and try and figure out what the fuck is going on. So for me, because I was easily triggered, I thought I was at a point to where I was healed and where nothing would get to me. I have done a lot of self-work in the last, I would say, 10 years, to where I was putting myself out there. I was getting over my fears, and I was doing a lot of things that was really, really brave for someone who grew up very sheltered, who was not diagnosed as ADHD. So I just growing up, I didn't know I didn't know that I thought differently from other people. I knew I was different, but I didn't know why I was different. And so after I did all my self-work, I became less fearful of people and things. And so I would put myself out there more. And because I still had the same sensitivity and view of the world, that I just want to help people, I just want to share my knowledge with people and just share my love for life and doing things and just getting over my fears, I was also a magnet for people who saw this light in me, and they didn't have, there are people out there who they don't know that. I don't think they know this consciously. I think they are more, I think some of them are conscious of it. I think some of them envy it, and some of them are jealous that they don't have this gift of just being empathetic and just seeing the world in a different light. And I think those people tend to want to see people who have this different worldview. They want to see us broken. They're like, you think the world is such a great place when it's not. I'm going to show you that it's not by basically fucking with you. And I've ran into people like that. I've ran into people who are jealous of me because I've accomplished a lot despite where I come from. I've gone through But yes, I've gone through periods of time where I just wanted to completely cut off the whole world and just become like bitter and just like evil and angry and be like, I'm never gonna let anyone hurt me again. And I'll just like isolate myself, or I just like will cut off people and I'll just see people as just like bad, all bad, when really it was just the people that I were encountering. And I just didn't know how to protect myself, and I didn't have strong enough boundaries because I wasn't taught boundaries. And so that's why I was constantly running into people who were looking to just manipulate me and to just like dim and take away my light, because I was very optimistic, and I looked at being optimistic and being kind and loving as a weakness because it kept hurting me. And I'm like, why would I want something like this if I'm just gonna keep getting hurt, you know? It makes total sense that you would want to get rid of something that's hurt, that seems to be like a weakness. The way the world looks at kindness is kind of a weakness. They look at it as something they can take advantage of, or they're like, oh, you're not strong enough because you have so much hope for the world. And when really people are like, oh, the world's just such a dark and bad place and you shouldn't have that. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not a weakness, because I used to think that. And I think if someone can go through so much and they can still be resilient enough to see the world as a beautiful place and not assume that all people are horrible, I think that's that is a very powerful way to be. And the people who are dark and bitter by the world, they're the ones who are weak, and they can't see that there's so much more to this life than just evil people and bad people or whatever. So I want to talk about the first reason why you should isolate. One of the reasons why you should isolate yourself for a period of time is to gain your energy back. If you are an empath, you're overly stimulated and neurodivergent, you put out a lot of energy is absorbed, and it just creates craziness. You have to like take a break. You have to slow down. You have to take a step from people, because they're the ones that's draining your energy. Maybe it's social media, maybe it's the troubles of the world. All this stuff creates like overstimulates energy draining moments in your life. If you had a bad encounter with multiple individuals, let's say you had a negative encounter with a family member, a friend, a romantic partner, just someone out in your professional life just did something really horrible to you, and it's just back to back to back, and then you're just like break down because you can't take it anymore. Sometimes it's nice to just take a step back to reclaim your energy and just get back into yourself. One way to do that is through, I would say, exercise, reading, meditation, doing things, figure out what your hobbies. Like, I like to do like yoga. I love going to the beach. I love being out in the sun. I love going for long walks. I love cooking. I love figuring out new recipes. I love to read. And I think those are the things that I can do when I don't need to be around people. And especially if my energy is already low, those things bring my energy back up. I love listening to podcasts. I love listening to music, healing music, not depressing music about like breakups or like death or something. I do like to listen to those, but I can't listen to those all the time. But just something that just makes you feel good. Things to like come back into yourself, things to remind yourself of who you are, and you're not this dark person that can't be happy. Another reason why to self-isolate is to reflect on your goals and what it is you want. Sometimes we get lost in the noise of other people's opinions, thoughts, and realities that we lose track of what we want and who we are. So sometimes you just need to isolate yourself just to come back to who you are and what it is you want to do and what it is and how you want to move forward in your life. I know sometimes when I get caught up with people absorbing their ideas and their energies, I just think, wait, what is it that I want to do? Didn't I have a goal to like be here at a certain period of time? And then I completely get lost or wrapped up in other people that I'm like behind on my goals. And yeah, sometimes we have a certain set of goals that we want, and then the noise and the chatter for other people makes us overthink those things, rethink those things. And it's not how we actually feel, because we absorb so much from others. We could let other people's opinions like dim or take away what it is that we actually want to do, because we're worried about other people's thoughts. And also, another reason to isolate yourself from others is to heal. Sometimes you just need to heal, and that's it. It can be weeks, it can be days, it can be months. I don't think it's a good idea to isolate yourself from people for a year. I think that's a little bit too much. I mean, we need human connection. It's just the point is the right human connection. And completely isolating myself, I feel I'm eating right, I'm on a set schedule, I'm doing yoga every day, I'm listening to music. Another reason to isolate yourself from others is to learn what your boundaries are. Figure out what your boundaries are, what it is that you want, and how you want to be treated. And reestablish your boundaries, and next time you go out into the world, to stand firm in your boundaries. I let my boundaries get lost in the noise. So I had my boundaries, and then I was flimsy with them. Instead of me sticking to them, I just let them become pliable, and I was worried about what other people thought, I didn't stick to them, and then everything went downhill from there. So one of the main things you need to do when you're a very highly sensitive person, neurodivergent, you have, especially if you have trauma, you have to have firm boundaries, because if you don't, it's going to break you down. We need to protect ourselves because of how sensitive we are and because of what we've been through. And our boundary is going to help us reestablish our confidence and reestablish who we are. And when you let other people break your boundaries, you're basically telling yourself that you're not important. You're literally not trusting yourself, and you're not trusting your own boundaries. And I think having boundary is a form of self-trust, and it's a form of self-confidence, and a form of self-respect. And if you let other people break your boundaries, you're disrespecting yourself, and you're also letting other people disrespect you. So if you don't respect yourself, other people aren't going to respect you. And then that's going to also break you down, and that's going to make you depressed. It's going to make you stagnant in your goals, in your career. People aren't going to trust you. They're not going to have confidence in you. They're going to walk all over you, because they're like, if she doesn't trust herself, if she doesn't respect herself, why should I respect her? And so I was doing a lot of that. I wasn't having boundaries with family. I wasn't having boundaries with professional relationships. I wasn't having boundaries with romantic relationships or encounters or whatever. These days, dating is like, I mean, it's different. I would say that, because I don't want to put it in negative. You just got to have strong boundaries in order to have better experiences with people in general. So I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I want to talk more about this, but I think I want to talk about it more in like I want to talk more about this, but I want to talk about it in a different way. I want to do a longer video, but I just wanted to make a quick video. Like I said, I want to be more consistent, and I also want to put things out when I remember them, because as a person who has ADHD, I'll have all these amazing ideas, and then I'll forget about it. Or if it's like not in my face, I'll forget about it, and then I'll ramble like I'm doing now. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What are some ways you have self-isolated? Like I said, I don't think you should do it for a long period of time. Do it for a period of time that works for you until you feel strong enough and healed enough to go back out into the world. Don't stay inside. I mean, like, go out into the world. Just limit your encounters with people. Like, I still go outside. I still do stuff. I probably have like encounters with one or two people. Actually, technically it's only like one person right now. But I feel good not being around people right now. I'm coming back to myself. I'm getting over my depression and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's really important for us to come back into ourselves. And sometimes self-isolation is a good thing. And once you are ready, you go back out into the world. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the